An Agile squad does not have a leader, doesn't have a manager in the hierarchical sense that probably many organizations still operate in. So talent and skills is a good place to start, because the reason I'm in Dubai today is because at IBM we've been rolling out a global marketing education program. We started in October last year, working with our sort of headquarters marketing functions, and then starting in February and ending in about 3 weeks' time, we've been rolling out this education. We call it Making the Marketer, and really we're building on the skills that our teams already have. So this isn't bringing them completely new things or different ways to do things. It's very much about building up those skill levels, enhancing those skill levels. And actually something that I always think is really important in skills building is just building up their confidence. Because I don't know if you find this as well, but we have people who are so talented and have great skills, but somehow they don't always have the confidence to apply them. You find that they sit quietly in a meeting and yet they have absolute clarity on what should be done and how it should be done. And so really a big part of this for me is to get people to be more confident in the skills that they actually already have. And obviously that's really important. I really do believe in this idea of lifelong learning. I think it is, I just think it's part and parcel of our era in our lives in the 21st century. Trying to stick with what you knew when you were at college or university and doing that for the next 50, 60 years of your life is probably not a very successful idea these days. 200 years ago that worked fine, but today it doesn't. So I think lifelong learning is not something you have to be told to do. I think it is something that successful people, and you wouldn't be in this room doing the jobs you do if you weren't successful, something successful people do quite innately. I should just tell you, some of you may know this, I think Gemma tweeted it yesterday by the way, but Gemma Greaves, who's the CEO of the Marketing Society, Gemma was actually my intern in another life, it feels like, a very long time ago. So I look at that and I look at Gemma then and I look at Gemma now. I think she's a brilliant exemplar of lifelong learning. She constantly upskills herself. The Gemma that I knew was very talented back then, but she certainly didn't have the skills that she has today. She's worked hard to develop those, no matter how effortless she makes it look. So I think she's a brilliant exemplar, which is so wonderful to have her leading the Marketing Society around the world, because she is such a great exemplar. So 3 years ago, we rolled out a program in IBM called the New Work of Marketing. And that was really, and we were playing catch up, honestly then. 3 years ago, 2015, we were behind the curve when it came to contemporary marketing, modern marketing, whatever you want to call it. Our digital capabilities were nowhere near as refined as they ought to be. Ironically, our digital capabilities for our clients were fantastic. We were winning awards with our clients for fabulous work. IBM, in case you didn't know, actually has the world's largest digital marketing agency in-house, IBM Interactive Experience. That's a billings statement. So an extraordinary capability within the company, but actually within our own marketing. The archetypal cobbler's children problem, our shoes were not that shiny. So I think what you'll have seen, and my marketing colleagues from IBM who are here with me, I hope you recognise this, but if you go back 2014-15, we could not have proudly declared ourselves to be contemporary marketers across our whole function. I think fast forward to 2018, and I really think we can, and I really think now that we are in a place where we have invested in our people, and we've invested in skills, and we've invested in tools and all the other things to have a truly contemporary marketing organisation. And so really this 3-day education that kicks off in about an hour here in Dubai for our Middle East and Africa team seeks to, as I say, hone those skills, reinforce those skills. But what they're going to hear from me this morning is everything that we talked about when we did the New Work of Marketing 3 years ago absolutely still applies. We haven't wavered from that path. Now we hone, now we enhance. I think, by the way, the single biggest change that I've seen is the focus on optimization. I think that there were too many times when A/B testing for us 4 or 5 years ago was focus group oriented in the old world style, rather than the sort of the contemporary digital, almost permanent A/B testing, constantly refining almost daily your campaigns. So that actually probably has been our biggest change, I would say. And that really has been supported by the fact that we have moved to operating in using the Agile process. So we run our marketing teams as Agile squads. We have daily stand-ups. So we're really, truly adopting the Agile method in all of its facets. We've moved to being much more co-located than we once were. So IBM was famous as the company where it didn't matter where you were on the planet, you could work, you could do your job from anywhere. Well, that still applies for lots of jobs in IBM, but it doesn't really apply in marketing. If you're not sitting with your team, most of the time, you're just not going to be as effective as you might otherwise be. And so applying Agile marketing and, having daily scrums and, having these 2-week sprints, amazing to see the work that the teams do and how fast they can move when instead of having to do a perfect project plan, which is kind of how we all used to work in the past, and come up with a perfect campaign plan and then move into the perfect campaign execution, and it all taking a long time, and 6 months later realizing that the perfect campaign wasn't the perfect campaign, and needing to go back to the drawing board. Now everything happens really fast, 2-week sprints. Carve up the project into bite-sized pieces, make it happen, figure out something's not right, make a change, keep moving forward. It's an extraordinary thing. So I think that if you're not playing with Agile, I highly recommend it. One of the things I love, you don't go around, my job, I get to go around the world and meet our teams, and I don't go to countries now and sit through 3 days of people having wasted 2 weeks of their life producing perfect presentations to show Caroline. I just go and join their stand-ups. I go and participate in their sessions, hear what they're doing, get to ask the odd question because sometimes I have no idea what it is they're talking about because I haven't been part of the sprint. But it is amazing, and I think it's very energizing for our teams. Talk a lot about the innovation that comes from self-motivated, self-driven teams. And I guess the other thing that's interesting about that, by the way, is structurally, an Agile squad does not have a leader, doesn't have a manager in the hierarchical sense that probably many organizations still operate in. Different people within that team take the lead role depending on what stage of the project they're in. The person with the right skills takes the lead role at a given moment in time. That's actually been really hard for people to get used to. Very used to hierarchical, I have this job title, therefore I know everything. You have that job title, therefore you do what I tell you. It's all of that. You have to chuck that out the window. My boss's boss, our CEO, Ginny Rometty, is fond of the acronym the HIPPO, the highest paid person's opinion. How familiar is that? How many times have you guys pitched a great concept to your CEO or whoever, only to be told that they don't like it, despite the fact they're not the target audience. They've probably never been the target audience. They've probably never been in the position of the client you seek to serve. So Agile really helps you, and Agile and data-driven really helps you get away from the highest paid person's opinion, which is rather fabulous.